Welcome! David here again. And today I'd like to continue with what I started talking to you about yesterday about overcoming fear. I don't think I gave a very clear explanation of what I was talking about. I mentioned how life is like a script and how as you go through life and you're troubled and you face problems and difficulties that a very strong source of strength and surety and confidence that you can have is by opening up the book and reading what happens in the next episode. And that when you see the results, or even write, because we are part co-authors of the book of life. So when you read what's going to happen, it gives you a confidence and a surety to stand up and be like, I don't care what happens, I already know how it ends, and I'm not scared of anything. So I'd like to illustrate that principle with an example that we all are familiar with. So let's go to Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. If you all recall, one of the themes of this book are Dementors. What do Dementors represent? Fear. They suck away all the life and hope, and all that's left are your worst fears and memories. So Harry Potter, sort of symbolically in this book, has to face his fear. And he can't do it. All through the book, he's fighting and struggling, and he's meeting with one of the professors to practice the Patronus spell, but he can't overcome his fear, and it's not good enough. He makes progress, he makes effort, but he can never quite get over that wall of fear, and every time a Dementor shows up, it beats him over and over, and it drives him crazy that he can't overcome his fear. How many of you feel like there's something in your life that you're afraid of, and you keep trying and trying over and over, and you're never able to beat it and get over it? Well, what does Harry do? Let's learn from this powerful example by J.K. Rowling. So it kind of comes to a head where he has to face those Dementors. He's there with Sirius Black, someone he loves, someone who's done so much for him, and the Dementors are circling around. And he can't fight them off. There's too many. They're too strong. Finally, he comes face to face with his greatest fears. And he can't do it. He's too weak. He's trying. He's giving everything he can to fight him off. But he's losing. And just as the Dementors are about to finish him and Sirius off, a white stag comes charging in and drives off all the Dementors and saves them, and they're saved in just the nick of time. Later, we understand that Harry Potter had to go back in time with Hermione to do a few things with the Time Turner. And as we know, oh, I skipped a part. Just as he's passing out, he looks across the lake to where the stag came from, and who does he see? A vaguely familiar figure. Powerful wizard who conjured the Patronus spell and saved them. He thinks it's his father, right? Well, as we know, when he goes back in time and goes to that point and he's waiting because he wants to see his father, who shows up? Nobody. And he's watching as, from across the lake. There's him reliving it in third person. The Dementors, his fears are beating him down, and they're about to kill him. And he's like, okay, anytime now. Oh, anytime now. Dad, show up. What happens? Something clicks in his mind. And in that moment, he understands the truth. That it wasn't his father that conjured the Patronus. It was him. It was him. And in that moment, suddenly, he transforms, and we all know how it goes, right? He knew it was him, and he knew it was time for him to act. And he pulls out his wand. Expecto Patronum! And he conjures the Patronus and drives off the Dementors and beats his fear. And he has the power to overcome his fear. And how come he had the power? Hermione later is like, how did you do that, Harry? That's advanced, powerful wizardry. It's too complex. You couldn't have done that. And what does he say? I already knew I could do it. And because he already knew, he'd already seen it happen, he knew how it ended, it gave him the power and the confidence to become the powerful wizard that he was already, but he'd never been able to make that step before. So, are you getting the principle? When you see yourself off in the distance, a